better.
I think you look fantastic. All right, guys, here we are. Michelle and I are really excited to hop on here today and talk about what it is we have our hands on because we partnered together with a company in the health and wellness space. And she has invited me on here today to tell my story of where I've been, because it's pretty interesting in the my world of having 3 autoimmune diseases, being about 50 years old and having 3 kids and 3 jobs and busy and all of the things that I've kind of found the answer to health and vitality, in my opinion. And I do have some before and after pictures coming that are pretty mind blowing that I said I would never share with anybody. So those are up and coming. But here we go. All right. So my name is Becky Smith. I live in Green Bay, Wisconsin. And like I said, I've got 3 kids, 3 jobs, 3 autoimmune diseases. Everything that I have seems to come in threes. And my journey began back in summer of 2023. So coming up on 3 years here. Where I found myself at that point in time was struggling with Western medicine. The autoimmune diseases that I have are Hashimoto's, discoid lupus, and seronegative rheumatoid arthritis. And what that did to me as a mom was I was tired, my joints hurt, my skin was itchy, rashy, red. I had massive hair loss and major loss of vitality. And I was probably at that point about 80 pounds overweight. So sitting in an integrative medicine provider's office versus Western medicine endocrinology, which is who was trying to treat me at the time, I was finding more and more answers every day. And one of the things that my doctor asked me that day, after saying I was struggling with the itchy, rashy skin, the joint pain, and the hair loss, she goes, "Are you using a collagen?" And I said, "Yeah, I hate it." I hate using it. It's this blue jug that I got from Costco. If you've ever been in the checkout at Costco, you've seen a giant pile of it next to you there. You have to mix it. It doesn't mix well. It doesn't taste great on its own. I wasn't getting any results from it. So therefore, I don't know what I was using it for, to be honest, at that point in time. She goes, "Oh God, no. She goes, "I want you to try this liquid collagen. You just take a shot of it a day. It's going to be like WD-40 for your joints. It's going to hydrate your skin from within. It's going to be like food for your hair. Your hair is going to grow like crazy." She goes, "This one is a game changer." And I'm like, okay. So I bought this in my doctor's office and I took it home and I used it for a couple of months. And I started to have little spriglets of hair growing back. I'm going to show you a picture here in just a second. And I was like, wow. So I kept going back to get more of this from her. And it was about that time, 2 months later, that my friend Carissa reached out to me and she goes, "Becky, I've partnered with a company in the health and wellness space and I really think you should take a look at it." And I said, "No, I'm not doing anything of the sort. I don't have time. I'm busy. I don't want to have my hands in another thing." No. She goes, "Well, you're into everything health and wellness. I know you're looking for all sorts of answers. I see your Facebook posts. I think you should take a look at this." So she sends me the link to this company. And it ended up being the exact same company that my doctor had been giving me this collagen from. I was like, holy buckets. I about peed my pants. And I'm like, okay, send me everything. So she sent me everything. And what I found upon looking was that this company was scientifically backed with a lot of research. Everything was CGMP certified and third-party tested for heavy metals, leads, mold, and toxins, which that was another area of my life I was digging into at that point. Do I have mold toxicity? Do I have heavy metal toxicity? Things like that. So I was being very careful. So I'm like, dang, I want everything. So I dove in with an elite pack and got everything that they had, because I knew that if I had this kind of luck with my hair, which I'm going to pull up here, if I had this kind of success with what I was using for my hair, what else did they have and what were the results going to be? So my initial thought was, you know what? Maybe I can help a few other people get their hands on this collagen. I have time for that. I have time to share some information about this collagen. It took off from there. Things got bigger and bigger. And here I am almost 3 years later, still talking about this because it was an absolute game changer. So this is the first thing that got me here. And this was what the results that I had. So you can see I had a really big bald spot in the front of my head. It was very self-conscious about it. And it really did grow back. This is 6 months between pictures. So this isn't something you're going to take for 4 days and it's going to make your hair grow back. It's going to fuel your body from within and help with that process. But it also helped with that joint discomfort that I had from the rheumatoid arthritis and the red itchiness of the skin was kind of calmed with that hyaluronic acid coming from the inside out. So that was absolutely incredible. The next thing that I want to share with you is more for people who have diarrhea, constipation, gas, bloat. Maybe they're missing a gallbladder. Maybe they've got gastroesophageal reflux disease, anything that involves your GI tract. And this was something that I didn't really know I needed till I tried it. Okay. So I'm going to do a demonstration for you guys and show you exactly what happens when you use a digestive enzyme with live probiotics and a prebiotic, and what this can do for your food. Okay. So I'm really sorry to do this to you, Michelle, but you're going to go off the screen for a minute or two, and I'm going to take the cake here for a second. Okay.
That's okay.
I knew you'd be okay with that. Be like, yeah.
Well, my dog just jumped in here.
Okay. Here we go. All right. So here I am. So this is Enrich. This is a digestive enzyme that I'm going to show you guys a live demonstration of what happens while Michelle's hiding in the background. So I'm going to take this snack pack pudding here that you would put like in a kid's lunch or something. And I'm going to add one of these enzymes to it. So you're going to see what's going to happen when we take a live enzyme and probiotic and add it to a completely dead processed food. So if this doesn't tell you how well this works, I don't know what will. So here we have this. It's thick. You can see that, right? Super thick. And we're going to add one of these capsules to it. So this is a veggie capsule. This looks like this. I'm going to break it open. Normally you just take it with some water with a meal. So I'm going to put this in here. And while I'm stirring this, I am going to tell you exactly what is in it. So here we go. You can see I put it in there. It kind of, if you were to open it and put it on your food or eat it, like my niece Autumn, she won't swallow pills, but my sister-in-law, if she's got belly issues, will sprinkle it on her cereal. So it just tastes like a Cheerio. Okay. So here we go. We're going to mix this together and talk about what's in this thing. There's 11 strains of digestive enzymes in here to break down proteins, carbohydrates, fats. It breaks down, there's gluten digesting enzymes in here. So if you eat bread and bread makes you feel bloated, this will help with that. There's not gluten in it. None of our products have gluten. None of them have GMOs and soy and things like that. I forgot to mention that earlier. So this will break down gluten so you're not as bloated. If you're somebody that just feels yucky when you eat a lot of bread, this breaks down beans. So if you get gassy from beans, no more. You will not get gas from them if you use this. This also has lactase to break down lactose. So if dairy gives you tummy issues and leaves you running to the bathroom, this will help with that as well. And it has 4 strains of probiotics. So probiotics are the bacteria you want in your gut that will keep you lean and healthy. It will help you absorb your nutrients better. It's going to make you feel leaner. I lost 2 inches off my waist alone from using this because of the effect it was having on the gas and bloat and things like that in my stomach. Lastly, it's got prebiotics. And if you don't know what that is, and a lot of people get overwhelmed, like digestive enzyme, probiotic, prebiotic, what the heck? Prebiotics is like think of a probiotic as a bacteria swimming around in here, right? Prebiotic is like adding a little fish food to keep it alive. Because if you eat processed foods at all, and we all do, right? Your good gut microbiome that you're adding with your probiotic is not going to stay alive. You have to have a prebiotic to kind of keep it alive and thriving. So this has all of that in it. So this is what happened in less than a minute. Okay. You guys can see this. It completely liquefied this pudding. So one of the biggest questions that I get is, Becky, is this what's going to come? Is this what's going to come out the other end? And the answer is absolutely not. This is going to allow your stomach to essentially be kind of a Vitamix and break your food down to the nutrient level, enter your intestines, you're going to absorb your nutrients better. You're going to get your vitamins in better. You're going to feel better. You're not going to have the gas and bloat, just smooth digestive process. This has been such a game changer for people with no gallbladder, people that are on esophageal reflux disorder, that Prilosec type medications and things. And those medications over time make it difficult to absorb B12 and iron and all those. So you become deficient in other things, makes you feel worse. This is something you can add that actually allows your body to work better. So this has been a game changer for a lot of people, especially us perimenopause, menopause people whose digestive tracts just decide to get a mind of their own and not do what we want them to do anymore. Am I right? So there's that. That has been a huge game changer. All right, we're going to bring Michelle back now. Sorry to hide you. Here we go. Here we are. Hello, you're back.
Hello.
Okay, so moving on. The next one that we have is a Energizing Nootropic Focus Blend Coffee. And I didn't know about this one until, gosh, I got it in my big package. And I started drinking this in place of my coffee. And if you would have told me I was going to drink 1 cup of coffee instead of a pot of coffee a day, I would tell you you were crazy. But that has been the scenario now. This has L-theanine to help you focus. It's got something called PEA, not a P like a green pea, but it pushes out GABA to promote dopamine and serotonin, which is your happy, lovey-dovey hormones, and just makes you feel like you're in a good mood. And it also helps your metabolism. And with me, it helps with the cravings and crashes. So I'm not feeling like, I need to go to the vending machine before lunch, or like just wanting to grab the snacks off the break room table. I feel like I can walk past them without a problem. So this has been amazing. It comes in a rich chocolate and a plain Brazilian coffee. I'm an intermittent faster. I don't eat until like 9 or 10. So this gets me through effortlessly. So I wanted to share that. All right. The next one that we have is based off of metabolic health. And if you look at the United States today, 2 out of 3 people are struggling with something called metabolic syndrome. And what metabolic syndrome does is it makes weight loss difficult, close to impossible. It makes people not have the health and vitality that they want. It ages you prematurely and just makes you just don't feel well. So I'm going to tell you what metabolic syndrome is before I show you the solution. As somebody who has lost 80 pounds doing this, I'm going to show you a picture of myself in my sports bra, 80 pounds heavier than I am right now, in just a minute after I tell you about this. So hold on a second. I promised I wouldn't share this to anybody, and then I do. Whatever. I remember when I was wanting to lose weight, looking at people's before and afters were like my favorite thing to do to give me motivation. So that's why I do it. But anyways, what is metabolic syndrome? 2 out of 5 of these things that I'm going to share with you. Okay. If you have a fasting blood sugar greater than 110, if you have a blood pressure greater than 135/85, unmedicated. So let's say you came off of your blood pressure medications, it would go above that. If you have a waist circumference as a female greater than 40 around your belly button, as a male, no, greater than 40 as a male, greater than 35 as a female. I got those backwards. So around your belly button, okay, not your belt. If you have a triglyceride fasting greater than 150, and if you have an HDL less than 50, that's your good cholesterol, you have metabolic syndrome if you have 2 out of 5 of those. If your MyChart numbers are creeping that direction, you're heading towards metabolic syndrome. Okay. Now, some of the symptoms that I mentioned earlier are you're lethargic, you've got brain fog, you have difficulty losing weight, you're bloated, you just don't feel well. Right. But what if there was something that could help reverse all of these things? Right. There is. Okay. So I'm going to show you this picture and then I'm going to tell you what it is. So here we go. The picture I said I would never, ever share with anybody. There we go. Okay. So this is me on the right. This is me at 210 pounds on the right side. And then this is me at 137 on the right. I'm now 125. I have not replaced that picture yet, but it is something that has been truly a life changer for me. This came along after the fact. This came along in 2024. This is a system that has won us a first place Gold Stevie Award in product innovation and covers all 5 pieces of metabolic syndrome. So here we go. The first thing that is on the right, or on the left, sorry, the smaller bottle. This is called Transform. Transform was in studies by Harvard for 10 years prior to us getting the proprietary rights to this. This is an enzyme that converts sugar to fiber. And if I didn't mention it earlier, my background is in biochemistry, medical laboratory science, and I teach those courses now full-time. That's my full-time job. So when it came to somebody telling me that there was an enzyme that would convert sugar to fiber in my stomach, I said, no, there's not. I was skeptical. So I called my doctor and I said, can you give me a continuous glucose monitor? Because I'm not buying this. Like, I want to see if this works before I would ever tell anybody to even use this. I need to know for myself if this works. So what I did is I got this continuous glucose monitor, slapped it on the back of my arm, and I'll put it down in the comments below when we're done with this and show you what the results looked like on the continuous glucose monitor. And I ate the same meals on like a Monday as I did on Tuesday. I ate the leftovers the next day. The first day I didn't use Transform. The second day I did. So what this does essentially is when you eat a meal, your digestion breaks it down into simple sugars called glucose. This is an enzyme that takes those molecules, links them back together, into an alpha glucan fiber line that can't be absorbed through your intestines. Now, this isn't like adding boluses of fiber to your gut. Don't think we're doing that. It is just converting things that just will pass through you instead of being absorbed into you, which means you're getting less sugar in your bloodstream, which means less calories on your butt and less inflammation. You're going to have less of the peaks and then the crashes, and then you're crashed. You need a coffee and you go to the vending machine. Your mood is going to be relatively stable because you don't have the ups and downs. So that's what I noticed first, right? Second, it has grains of paradise, which is a mild thermogenic that increase your metabolism and burn sugar even further. So this stuff is magical, honestly. But I didn't believe it until I wore the continuous glucose monitor, and that completely changed my outlook on it. So that's the first piece. You take that before meals that are going to have a lot of carbs. I use it as a tool. I keep it in my cup holder in my car. I'm on my way home from work. I'm like, I'm going to have carbs in my dinner. I'm going to take some. If I know I'm going to be having carbs for lunch, I'll take it and throw it in my purse, and I'll take it before lunch. So that has been huge. That is the first piece of metabolic syndrome. The other container that's bigger in there that you see on the right-hand side is the very first beverage plant-based competitor to the weight loss injectables on the market. Maybe some of you watching this are on a weight loss injectable. Great. They work fantastic. You adding this system does so many more layers to that than just the one thing. But this beverage does the one thing that your medication is doing, but not to such a slam punch where you feel like you can't even eat without throwing up. Okay. It doesn't do that. It's a little more subtle. Increases your body's own GLP-1. So it makes you get full faster, stay full longer, turns off some of that food noise. So you're not always reaching for snacks. Number two, it activates an enzyme called AMPK, adenosine monophosphate kinase. This pushes your body to preferentially burn fat for energy over other substrates. It lowers cortisol. It helps with your cholesterol levels. That's one of the first things that I've seen. There was a woman who she used this for about 6 months, and she only lost about 10 pounds. All of her levels came down into normal range, having changed nothing else. Then her body started losing weight. So once you get your metabolic health in line, weight starts to come off. Lastly, this has L-arginine, increases nitrous oxide to dilate your blood vessels and lower your blood pressure. Helps with some stress levels too, because it kind of just makes you feel more calm, in my opinion. So we've tackled all 5 pieces of metabolic syndrome with this one system, where people who have difficulty losing weight, this will help get their metabolism in line to make weight loss possible, essentially. Okay. Plus, it's going to help with all of those internal markers of metabolic syndrome, which is even more dangerous than having some extra weight on your body. Okay. So that is our daily health system. That is our claim to fame with everything. Absolutely. So a few other things I want to mention really quick that we have. So of course we have health, things for health like that are absolutely incredible, but we also have travel. Now, what Ternat has discovered, but they knew this and they made this very prevalent, is that people who travel have less heart issues and are healthier than people who don't. One of the things that they want people to be able to do to maintain this well-rounded lifestyle is to be able to travel more. So what they provided is a travel portal for both customers or associates. So I want to share this here with you really quick so that you can see some of this, this benefit. So what this is a portal. If you've gone to like Priceline, Orbitz, Expedia, things like that to look, that's where you should kind of start your search for all of the vacation things you're looking for. This is a private portal, not a public one like those, where you save up to 65% on condos, resorts, cruises, car rentals, hotels all across the world, 850,000 locations, up to 65% off. I've saved a ton of money with this myself. The best part about this is after having a membership for a year, you're gifted a voucher for a free vacation. One of the vacations is I'm going to Aruba completely free in October or November of this year, because I'm going to get a voucher after having a membership for a year, because I got my membership in October. I will be able to go there for free. So the membership is about $65 a month, but at the end of the year, you'll have paid $780 for a $3,500 vacation for 2 people. Like, I just pinch me with that. There's so many perks within that I just wanted to make sure that I brought that up, that this is one of the biggest deals I've ever seen. Because I know by canceling my Hulu, Peacock, all of these crazy subscriptions that I have. I have like an MLB network I'm paying for. It's not even baseball season. Why am I paying for this? So I get rid of those subscriptions. By and large, have plenty of money to pay for my subscription by canceling the things that I wasn't using that I was subscribing to. So that has been a game changer as well. All right. So let's say you're taking a peek at these things and you know Michelle, and you're like, wow, that sounds pretty incredible. I would love to try what Michelle is diving into. There's two ways to look at this. You could order from Michelle as a customer. She'd be happy to give you her link and do that. Or you can order as an associate. Now, here's why this is such a big deal right now is normally an associate is like $99, and that gives you wholesale pricing. It gives you a better price. You get one of these discounted bundles. Right now, that $99 is gone. It's free. So you get a discounted bundle. It's cheaper to actually buy as an associate than it is as a customer. There's no auto ships. You don't have to buy or sell a certain amount of anything. You just get this discount. That's amazing. And let's say your friend Sally Sue is like, wow, Jenny, you look amazing. What are you doing? Oh, I'm using this daily health system. It's making me feel amazing. I've lost weight. Here's a bunch of testimonials I can show you online. Oh my God, how do I get that? You can either send her back to Michelle, or you can send her your link yourself that you got for free. So that's kind of why it's a no-brainer right now, but that ends on the 28th, which is tomorrow if you're watching this on Friday. So today's the 27th of February. So that is definitely a big perk because you get these things discounted as a bundle and you don't have to pay the $99. After Saturday, you have to pay an additional $99 to get that perk. So that's why we're sharing that right now, because now is huge. The other thing that we have is, if it was something you'd be interested in, being part of e-commerce in a $7 trillion health industry right now is kind of where it's at. There's a lot of people out there picking up Instacart, DoorDash, trying to find additional ways to make money. We just share our love of what we have and the daily health system with so many people, and it's so game changing. And that is where people are looking right now. Everybody's looking for extra money, and they're looking for extra looking for ways that will help them be successful in the weight loss world of things. So it's definitely something to take a peek at. Our very first rank of Jade, you also get are eligible for a car. So that is something that's pretty crazy. I have a free Jeep in my garage. I work full-time, a different job. I do this on the side, and they provide me a payment for a Jeep in my garage. I have a Jeep Grand Cherokee, not a Wrangler like this. And it has been an absolute blessing to not have that car payment in our family, for sure. All right, so here's an example of some of our bundles that we have. Of course, the smallest bundle is Enrich and our daily health system, which I showcased today. We have an intermediate size builder bundle, which is very popular, that has more things like our protein and our collagen. And then what I bought, of course, is the Elite Pack, which is what I highly recommend. It is discounted like over 25%, boatloads of stuff in there, and you get a free convention ticket too. So that one is quite popular. All right. So Michelle, is there anything that I'm missing?
No, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Absolutely. Okay, so if you guys have questions, pop them down in the comments. Michelle and I are going to keep an eye on that and answer any questions that you might have. And I'll put my continuous glucose monitor results down there too, so you guys can see that. Okay. All right. Have a good night, everybody.